Adhesion is a topic that almost no one seems to know about. Adhesions are critical yet often overlooked issue in complex surgeries. Many patients face adhesion-related problems but remain unaware of them, leaving surgeons to manage the consequences. Even well-educated patients lack awareness about adhesions. It is time to raise awareness so patients can make informed decisions. How is this ignorance damaging us? The Titanic sank due to overconfidence, striking an unexpected iceberg. Titanic underestimated the real danger. Similarly, adhesions are called the hidden iceberg of human health, a condition mostly ignored, underestimated, and unknown to patients and the public. Yet, it has the full capacity to destroy our health, the country's future health too. It's crucial to raise awareness about their dangers and symptoms and the astonishing, far-reaching implications. To understand adhesions, you first need to realize the relationship between organs within the body. Just like human relationships, sometimes the connections between organs are more important than the organs themselves. For instance, even if your mother lives hundreds of miles away, you might still be guided by her values and teachings. Similarly, each organ in the body communicates with others, either chemically, through hormones, or directly, especially if they are close by. During challenging times such as infections or inflammations, one organ can become closely attached to a nearby organ. As a gynecologist, I often see abnormal relationships between the ovaries and colon. These organs can become so stuck that if surgery is required, this tight relationship, known as adhesion, can be very difficult to separate. Adhesion is like an adhesive. Two things stuck together so tightly that separating them can be extremely challenging at times. Imagine visiting a gynecologist for an ovarian cyst removal only to find the cyst is so badly attached to the colon that the surgeon faces a new battle. While you are under anesthesia and your family waits anxiously, the surgeon must navigate this complex battle, a battle you knew nothing about. Removing the cyst may be straightforward, but separating it from the adhesions can be 100 times more challenging. The surgeon will have to choose between one of the three options when dealing with an ovarian cyst attached to the colon. The first option is to leave part of the cyst attached to the colon, telling the patients that most of it was removed. This approach, however, is not ideal as it can cause future problems, especially if the cyst is potentially cancerous, because remember, part of the cyst is still stuck with the colon and stays inside you. The second option involves removing layer of the colon wall along with the cyst. While this ensures the cyst is fully removed, it weakens the colon, which can lead to life-threatening complications if waste leaks into the abdomen. This option is significantly risky. The third option is to cut a portion of the colon with the cyst and join the curtains together using a special instrument called a stapler. While this reduces the surgery time, it can delay recovery, requiring a longer hospital stay and more antibiotics. Today, the surgeon chose a high-risk path to give you the best fighting chance. He spent hours meticulously separating the adhesions of the cyst from the colon, millimeter by millimeter, while keeping the colon intact. This painstaking process is not always successful, but today, after long tense moments in the operating theatre, it was achieved. Phew. Here, an unknown battle starts. The ovarian cyst is now being carried to the laboratory for a biopsy. You are waking up from the surgery. Your family, who had been anxiously waiting, now talks to the doctor to learn if the operation was successful. You and your family are happy now. Is this challenge of adhesions over? No. For you, it might be, but for the surgeon, it has barely begun. Meanwhile, the surgeon receives a message from the insurance company stating that they will not reimburse the surgeon's fee for the extra effort required. Surprisingly, despite your symptoms starting in September 2024 and the surgery taking place in October 2024, the cost of your surgery was possibly decided 3 years ago by well-dressed, suited insurance officials in a 30-story air-conditioned sparkling office somewhere in India. They needed to protect the annual shareholder balance sheet of the insurance company. Lured by the brand value of the company and charisma of the agent, you have purchased insurance from that popular company. Chances are that the messiah ingratiating insurance agent is within your friend circle and he himself does not know anything about this. Armed with huge uninformed client base, the insurance company now forces hospitals to agree to a prefixed budget for surgeries, regardless of the circumstances. 50,000 for gallbladder surgery, maybe 85,000 for uterus surgery, etc. Although this comes in a spectacularly wrapped gift box level at mutual agreement between the insurance company and the hospital. It is effectively a one-sided dictatorship by insurance company. It is possible that the insurance company tells hospital that 50 million patients are insured with us. So if you want that many patient base coming to your hospital, you must follow our terms. They will then advertise the hospital's name as preferred partner in their colorful insurance brochure. The model secures the insurance company's own future. You too become happy, at least at short term. If insurance companies can tag a fixed cost for surgeries, like buying a pair of shoes or a mobile handset, they can sell more policies cheaply. They will be confident that no matter what happens in the operating theatre, the cost of your health will not exceed the agreed 50,000 mark, even though you have purchased a 15 lakh rupee insurance on the face. Hospitals also benefit from such agreements. Hospitals have to cover expenses like air conditioning, staffing the reception with multilingual smart personnel, paying salaries to full-time and part-time staff, and maintaining the hospital, including painting and garden upkeep. However, your health is your responsibility. Apart from you and your doctor, no one else is directly responsible for your health. You might be happy to hear that your surgery can be done within a package cost. But understanding the complexity of medical science can take a lifetime. By the time you realize how complicated your treatment was and what you missed by opting for a cheap surgery, it might be too late to rectify any problems. The short-term satisfaction of a low-cost surgery is undeniable. Encashing your uninformed happiness, slowly, patients' right to the best treatment might be slowly disappearing. If you think it only affects patients, you are wrong. It may affect your next generation too. Even doctors' own health will not be spared. One day, every doctor will get old, will need a hospital bed. Doctors will face the same issues, this time being a patient. Even as doctors, we are horrified at the thought of what will happen to our own treatment when we are admitted to the hospital. We too will have bought medical insurance, and those suited, booted officials will have decided our future and the quality of our treatment that we get. If a surgery can be done easily, it might be performed by someone who is only half trained or trained on an ad hoc basis. Much of the work in this world is done by such jugaad people, the uneducated but efficient workforce. No disrespect, they save you when your car breaks down or your mobile needs a quick repair. Unfortunately, repairing a car or mobile is a completely different ballgame because most of the steps in that repair are reversible. The steps of your surgery are not reversible, and your demand to stay well is stronger than ever. Yet, you cannot enter a utopian world where your treatment goes perfectly without your involvement or responsibility. Society and finances are complicated, and we face additional pressure of inflation. The inside story may surprise you. There is a suspicion that when Indian senior surgeons are repeatedly deceived by insurance companies, they may stop operating on complex patients. They will not take on complicated surgeries and their responsibilities. The future becomes very gloomy. Only new pass out surgeons will be chosen by insurance companies and hospitals, as junior consultants can still work with lower salary. They have young family and most of their children are yet to go to schools. Juniors need more patience to sharpen their own surgical skills. Once they become senior, they will be sliced off and hospitals will recruit new set of low-cost, fresher junior doctors. The day is not far when you may not find seniors to treat you. Wonder what happens to those seniors? After years of getting deceived by insurance companies, experienced doctors might realize that India is on a blind road. Senior doctors may wish to then avoid India, sending their children to foreign universities. Will gloat that their next gen at least will not suffer. Eventually, the whole country will bear the brunt of today's ignorance. Already, many educated Indians' children left India to study abroad. They may never come back. Let's now move away from this dark future. Let's now understand why adhesions form. It is almost like a love affair between a couple. The mechanism for the relationship between organs is not ill-intentioned, just like a loving and affectionate relationship between a new couple. The body always tries to keep us alive, well, and recovering from infection, inflammation, damage, or any other hidden wound. In the face of organ damage, the body forms a net-like structure around the organs, known as fibrin capillaries. The organs heal. However, if the wound is more serious, the fibrin capillaries do not suffice. Just like in human relationships, when the organs relationships is in trouble, love alone may not be adequate. Hence, if the organs develop deeper damage, the healing headquarters of our body become unsettled and cannot plan anything strategic to salvage the damaged area. It sends the riot soldiers of fibroblasts, which are special cell to create tough thread-like material. These threads form a stronger and tougher net-like material over the flimsy fibrin capillaries, known as the extracellular matrix. This means this brick and mortar adhesive that accumulate outside human cells, attracting neighboring organs with it. On top of that, just like in human relationship, when the relationship is in trouble, many inquisitive people gather to find out what is happening. They become embroiled and associated with the relationship within a few days. Similarly, inside the body, the omentum or other organs can be very inquisitive. They come and check what is happening between organ A and B, and eventually, along with organ A and B, organs C, D, and E become involved with the adhesions. Omentum, one soft, innocent-looking fatty organ, is notorious to form heinous adhesion. Omentum is often called the abdominal policeman. It is supposed to suppress abnormal activities within the abdomen, but it can become corrupt and get tied up with adhesions very easily. The symptoms are elusive. The relationship is no longer a pleasant affair. It has become a messy extramarital one. Even if the organs want to separate, they cannot, and they start to suffer, causing pain, constipation, indigestion, or gash. You may visit the doctor, but they cannot feel the adhesions by examining your abdomen. Even ultrasound or CT scans may not reliably detect them. In absence of solid evidence, you keep on trialing tablets and syrups without a real diagnosis. No one knows the hidden iceberg inside your abdomen. In case you need surgery, surgeons must spend more effort in the operating theatre to combat adhesions, requiring decades of training and skills that cannot be learned from textbooks alone. Sometimes expensive chemicals are needed to prevent adhesions from forming again after surgery, which can exceed the budget agreed upon by your insurance company and the hospital. Imagine if the surgeon uses these chemicals costing a few thousand rupees. After the surgery, you realize the cost has increased significantly. Would you be happy? Shouldn't this be covered by your insurance to safeguard your own future? This raises an ethical and perhaps moral question. How can insurance companies and hospitals decide the cost of surgery months or years before you even needed it? Shouldn't surgery be individualized based on each patient's need? But why no one knows this? Adhesions are a complex but silent issue. Even my wife, who has spent over 20 years in a doctor's family, in my family, did not know about them. Awareness about adhesion is shockingly low. If even one surgeon cannot understand another's problems, how can we expect the general population to know about it? We surgeons cannot shrug off our responsibility for this social issue too. We are so busy performing surgeries and earning our livelihood that we hardly spend any time educating the general population. This lack of effort leads to misunderstandings between doctors and patients, and societal rumors about bad medical care swell up. Eventually, society starts to lose faith in medical science, compromising the health of the next generation Indians. I have tried to educate people by citing original surgery videos on YouTube. In one, I explained how our medical instruments have developed over thousands of years. But YouTube banned that video. They have not removed the video, and the link will be in below. It is almost certain that I will never be able to show you the proper videos of adhesions in the surgery. Shooting videos of open surgery is tedious. After hours of work, you might just get 3 to 4 minutes of good footage. Beyond that, who will broadcast this video to general population? Mainstream television will never broadcast it because no one will sponsor such educational items. Who will listen to and view such complicated programs? Until you yourself are suffering from this unique medical problem, I hope not. You will not have the energy or attention to learn about it. First, it is crucial to acknowledge that adhesions are a real problem and that patients, doctors, and mainstream media often stay silent on the issue. If you do not know this truth, your next generation will continue to suffer. Awareness is the first step to addressing this issue. Second, before undergoing surgery, ask your surgeon openly what they will do if they find adhesions. Is the treatment for adhesion included in your surgical estimate? If not, why? If an anti-adhesion chemical is needed, who will fund them? Third, if you are from the insurance industry or an influential member of the government, please understand these surgical challenges. One day, you might become a decision maker for modern India. I hope and pray you will support policy changes that address the real challenges surgeons face in the operating theatre. Let's hope that one day our India will change and your surgery and fate will not be decided by someone unknown to you. That's all today. See you soon over another topic.